What's up, my ninjas? Ninja Lumberjack here, and today we're back for part 2 of making Thorfinn's daggers. This is where we do all the painting for them. Now, I must admit, I did not record as much of the painting as I thought I did, and things do seem to be a little bit out of order, but I put them together as best I could with the footage that I had. So, without further ado, let's just get into it. So, as you see in the very first clip, I was putting on what looked like some pinkish paint. So what that is, that's just my Mod Podge that I'll mix with a paint just so I can see the difference between the layers. And so I do 2 to 3 layers of that first, and then I'll come back and add some of the quick dry Alex Fast Dry Putty or whatever, and fill in any gaps and stuff I need. But I like to do at least 2 to 3 layers first so I have a good baseline. I just feel like it comes out better that way. And then so afterwards I give it a few coats of that, come back, sand it a couple more times here and there, and just repeat those steps of painting, filling, sanding until you're satisfied with what you look. And then once you are, you can move on to giving a final paint job coat to it. So here I'm just coating everything that I can with the actual paint. Right now I'm just doing the blades of the daggers, getting those coated with a nice matte paint, just as that'd be like my primer layer, just to really make sure everything's finalized where I want it. And like I said, some of the clips are a little bit out of order, so here's now a clip of me doing Mod Podge and a little bit of green paint mixed in it just to cover the handles. And it doesn't matter what paint color you use, I kind of just change it up to just get different looks of what the blade could look like in different colors. That, and just because it helps you see when you're sanding stuff, it helps you see what layers you have or haven't sanded through, and it comes in handy just adding a little bit of paint to it just to differentiate the layers a little bit instead of just looking at clear Mod Podge for every layer. I think it helps me, and that's all that matters. So then I get anything you want to be like a shiny metallic color, you need to hit with a nice gloss black layer. So I did 2 to 3 coats of gloss black on all the cross guard and pommel pieces and the blades, and then that's when you can come back with your gold and your silver paints and all that. And so that's what I did there. I did come back later and paint everything with the airbrush. Well, I did all the metallic colors with the airbrush, because I first set it up trying to do it with the airbrush paints, but I couldn't get my airbrush to work for some reason. It just would not cooperate with me and do what I needed to do. So I ended up hand painting a lot of parts. I hand painted the cross guard and pommel, the gunmetal color that I mixed up on the dagger he gets from his father. That one, that's hand painted right there. And then the silver and the gold, I did eventually get my airbrush to work, and I came back and hit those. But as you saw, I was hand painting them, and it was working. It just would have took a lot more layers. But I come back later and just finished up with 1 or 2 coats with the gold and silver on the blade and stuff. So sorry I didn't show that step, but yeah, here we are. And then I come back, and then I just hit, using that same gloss black I did for the blade previously, I do that on the handle as well. And as you see, it gives this nice color contrast between the black and the gunmetal, and I just think it came out great. And like I said here, yeah, you see me doing more layers of the gold. Like I said, it was working. It would have worked. You just need a lot more layers. It seems like when you want to brush, because it seems like metallic colors take a lot of layers anyways to get it to look good, and especially if you're brushing it, because it brushes on so thin. But yeah, just you use what you can. And then so, now that the other handle is completely painted out, now we're on to the English daggers handle. And so what I did there is I just took some brown, painted it on the first layer, and then the second layer I just added a little bit of black to it just to change up the paint layer a little bit, to just give it some depth to the coloring of it. And then boom, you have 2 Thorfinn daggers right there. These are super clean and pristine, and I almost wanted to leave them this way, because when you look at it in the show, that's how they look. They look super neat and clean, well-maintained blades, he really takes care of his equipment. But I noticed I forgot the little details on his blades. So on his blades, he has these little arrows stacked up on top of each other on either side of the blade. I only did it on one side of each of the blades, but I missed that detail, so I came back with a wood burner off camera, just because I forgot to record it. I'm trying to get back in the groove with them, okay? Just bear with me. But so I come back and did those, and they didn't look as neat as they would have if I would have done it before the paint was on there. So they did look a little rough where the wood burner kind of burnt some of the paint and just messed it up a little bit. But they would have looked a lot better if I would have remembered to put them in before all these painting stages. But nonetheless, they're there. They look good enough. And so with that, I was like, you know what? I want to help bring out some of the details of these daggers on the blades and the handles and stuff like that. I want to try to weather them a little bit. Just add a little bit of weathering and help hide the ugliness of those arrows a little bit. So all I do is I come back through with some, I think first I did a layer of brown to give like a rust dirt kind of color, and did a weathering layer of that. And all you do is you just water down your acrylic paints a lot to where it's like almost like a milky consistency, I'd say. And so you just brush that all the way on the blade, and you can just wipe it back off with a paper towel. But personally, for me, I didn't like the wiping it method, so I took the paper towel, kind of like crumbled it up a little bit, and just like dabbed it across it really hard along the entire surface, and so it gave it this nice patina look. And so you do that with a couple of browns, you do it with a couple of blacks, and so you kind of get the result you're looking for, and it comes out really well in my opinion. And then I come back and do something similar to the handle. So with the handle, what I did was I did a black wash across it first, just to get in the grooves and the depth, give it a little bit of depth in the grooves of the handle and all. And then afterwards, I came in and I mixed some of the brown with like some yellow paint to make it like a brighter, more like worn leather, and just dry brushed it across to give it a nice, just to spice it up a little bit, make it look a little bit nicer. And then same thing with the gold. All the metallic parts are the same. It's just a little bit of brown, a little bit of blacky. Wipe it on, wipe it off, wax on, wax off, if you will. And it's a quick process, and I have a lot more footage than I thought I had to explain for, but that pretty much explains it. I don't really have much left else to say, but yeah, I don't typically show painting as much. I feel like I never show painting, just because painting takes place over the course of, like, depending on the project, usually the course of like either days or weeks. Like, I think I did this paint job in a couple of days, but I know some of them, like the lightsabers and stuff, different stuff that you gotta let dry for a longer time, depending on the paints you use. It takes a while, and like in between all of it, I forget what all's going on. But yeah, so after the weathering and all that, and you can seal your paint if you want to. I don't always seal my paint. Sometimes I do, but not always. On this one, I didn't, because fun fact, the handles still aren't glued on. They're still, even to this day, as of editing this video, the handles are not glued on, but they're just like a snug fit, so I just left them there like that. But long story short, boom, you have yourself two heavily weathered Vinland Saga Thorfinn daggers, and I'm super happy with how these came out. Like, I'm really proud coming back to prop making and being able to produce this on my first video back, and like I said, I'm super happy with how it came out, and I hope you guys enjoyed it just as much as I enjoyed making it. And without further ado, just thank you guys so much for watching. Hope you enjoyed, and stay tuned for the next one. And definitely go check out Vinland Saga, because it's a really good anime. It's definitely up there on the list as one of my favorites right now, so go check that out.